we're just going to run through a few more dart movements. So the first one we looked at was moving the dart up into the neck, the mid-neck. So that was on page 81. So next we're going to do page 82, and we're going to have a go at moving the dart to the side. So we're going to do a side dart. Okay? So again, you're just going to grab your block, and we're going to use the pivot method again. So you take your block, and the first thing you want to do is mark on your block in pencil where your new dart wants to be. So remember we said it was a side dart, so what I'm going to do is just turn back my marker, my sloper, and I've got the line there from the template, so I'm just going to bring that over. So, okay. So that's my side dart. So now what we need to do is trace around our block. So remember, we only start from the dart leg closest to the center front. So this is our center front, and this is dart leg B. So you can label them A and B. So I'm going to trace from B towards my center front. Okay. And then we go up the center front. So we've got a longer journey this time. Last time we stopped at the mid-neck here, but obviously now the side is where we want to move it. So we're going to keep going down the shoulder, armhole, I'm just going to add that notch in, and then I'm going to keep going until I get to the side dart. So there should be a space here, so if I lift it up, I haven't traced all the way around, I've stopped at the new dart point. And what you do is you grab your push pin, and just make a mark here. You want to push that in to the pivot point, which is our bust point. And now remember, we want to close A to B. So this line here has to meet this point here, which is B. So what I do is carefully keep that pin in place, just slowly pivot the pattern towards the center front. So you want to keep an eye on this leg here. So once this dart leg reaches B here, I know that I've closed the dart. Okay, I'm just going to move it a little bit. There we go. So that dart is now shut. So now I can draw in the rest of my pattern. Don't worry about what's going on up here right now, because we've drawn up to this point, so we don't need to add anything else in. Sorry, we drew up to the side dart. So we just want to finish off, you know, the second bit, the bottom half of the pattern. So remember, you need to start from that new notch again, the new dart point. So from here, I'm going to just bring the pen down. You can see I've still got a gap, so I just want to take it all the way to B again, like so. So I've traced around. So now if I take this off, you can see this opening here is where is basically the extra space that was in my dart. So I've now just moved it to the side, so it's gone all the way around. And obviously I need to draw in my new dart lines. So this was the bust point, so I'm just going to join up the bust point to those new openings, like so. And just to recap, you want to just be measuring 5/8 right in the center. That is your new dart point. So your new dart legs will join here. So you could do it at this stage, or you can do it on the trace off, whatever you find easiest. But yeah, so just remember that this is the new dart shape. So we need to just bring it back a little bit from the bust point so it doesn't sit directly on top of the bust point. So I could just put a cross there. So when I trace, I would just trace around this shape, this red dart line. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the image. The side dart. Now if you look at that, I think you can kind of visualize that once we, you know, cut this and close it, you're going to get the same look as the picture demonstrates. So really straightforward. So let's do one more. I'll just take this piece off. Let's do the mid armhole dart. So first of all, you've got your block, and you just need to mark on your block the new position of the dart. So page 83, we're doing the mid armhole. So it's just good to have a look at the picture as well and just recognize, you know, the difference between this one and the side dart and the neck dart. So we need to place our new dart point in the middle of our armhole. If you've got the template underneath, then that's going to give you a little bit of guidance. So right here, I'm just going to circle that so you can see it, because I have also got a notch as well, and I don't want to get the two confused. Again, that's also why it's good to do it in pencil as well. So you know, keep original notches in pen, and then you can do dart marks with pencil. So I'm just gonna get my block into position. Okay. So again, I think it's easier if you just label your original dart, so A to B, and then you know you always bring in this area of the pattern. So this dart leg, you always have to pivot it over to B, okay? And remember, B is always the starting point, so the dart leg that's closest to the center front, that's where we start tracing from. So we're always tracing towards our center front until we reach the new dart position. So I'll grab my pen. So starting at B, draw around and up, neckline, shoulder. Now I'm on the armhole, so remember my new dart point, where I want to move my dart, is just in the middle, so here. So this is where I'm going to stop. So I could just do a little notch like that so you can see it. And again, this area here there's nothing traced here, which is fine because I need to pivot it before I finish. So I grab my push pin, place it in the pivot point, and remember we're going this way, so we're going towards our center front. So I can hold on to A and just carefully pivot in. Keep going until it reaches under here, till it gets to B. So we've closed that off, we've closed that dart. So keep your pattern in position, finish tracing. So this time, you need to start at where you marked the dart, so mid-shoulder, so start here. Bring it round. And this has to join back up to B. make sure I've got my bust point marked. Great. See, I've got a few little pen marks there that have obviously come through my previous piece. I'm just going to double check which one it is. It's this one. So, first step is to join these up. Like so. And now we just need to add in the new dart point. So 5/8 from the bust point, right in the center, kind of there, and then join these back up to your dart legs. Like so. And there's your new dart. So again, if I was going to add seam allowance to this, I wouldn't add any on my center front because I'd want to cut that on the fold. I would add seam allowance to this waist area here, to my side seam, to my armhole, and then I would bring seam allowance back into this dart here, okay, and around the rest of my armhole, up my shoulder, and then I'd have a smaller seam allowance around my neckline, so about 1/4 inch to allow for like a face in.